Hi guys, this is Android Nub, and these are the best games of December 2014. This video is going to be a little different from my usual videos, and I'll explain why in the comments. First up, we have Godfire Rise of Prometheus, published by Vivid Games. Here's a new hack and slash action adventure game that's very similar to God of War. The graphics look really good, and the game looks very high quality. I heard that the controls could use a bit more refinement, but this definitely looks like a console quality game. And it's free, so go check it out. Next up, we have World of Tanks Blitz, published by Wargaming C. The Android version of the popular tank battle MMO is here with over 100 tanks and 7 vs 7 online tank battles. There's tons of players to play with, and it's somewhat realistic but also very action oriented at the same time. If you're looking for an online tank battle game, World of Tanks is probably the best one out there. Next up, we have Brothers in Arms 3, a high-quality 3D behind-cover shooter published by Gameloft. In this game, you move from cover to cover, taking out enemies in third person. There's lots of weapons including assault rifles, flamethrowers, rocket launchers, and sniper rifles. You can also get squad mates that fight by your side. If you like behind-cover shooters, check this game out. Next up, we have The Soul, published by NHN Entertainment. Here's a soft launch game that might be available where you live. It's a new high quality action RPG based on the Three Kingdoms. It has a story with cutscenes and lots of enemies to fight. There's new equipment to get and real-time PvP. If you like fast-paced action RPGs, check this game out. Next up, we have The King of Fighters A2012F, published by SNK Playmore. This is a completely free King of Fighters fighting game with no in-app purchases. There's 32 fighters to choose from, and 6 modes, which includes 1-on-1 and 3-on-3 team battle. The virtual gamepad's not too hard to control. This game crashed a lot on my phone, but it's a fun fighting game to check out.
Select the order.
Oh my god, them physics! I hear flapping. Next up, we have Marvel Contest of Champions, published by Kabam. Here's a fighting game with nice graphics and lots of Marvel characters to collect. You tap and swipe to attack, and you can also block and dodge. The controls are simple, but the game still requires timing, and there are special skills to use. It's a fun, casual Marvel fighting game to check out. Next up, we have Ultimate Robot Fighting, published by Reliance Big Entertainment. Here's another fighting game that's very similar to Injustice Gods Among Us, but with robots. You tap and swipe to attack, and you can block and use skills.
Demacia!
There's 3-on-3 battles, lots of robots to collect, and you can tag them in and out. Next up, we have Crusader's Quest, published by NHN Entertainment. This is a fast-paced puzzle combat RPG with colorful graphics and over 200 heroes to collect and train. The combat's like match 3, and the goal is to defeat monsters and rescue 5 goddesses. Looks pretty interesting. Next up, we have Elune Saga, published by Gameville. Elune Saga came out in early December, and it's very similar to Summoner's War. You can form a party of characters and fight monsters in a turn-based combat system, and collect soul cards, which are like skills. It's an interesting social card-based RPG to check out. Next up, we have Flip All-Stars, a casual mobile action RPG based on the old MMORPG Flip, which I personally played a lot back then. This, however, is a single-player, fast-paced action game with different characters to collect and skills to use, and it looks like it might be fun and worth checking out. That armor though. Next up, we have Chain Chronicle, published by Gumi. Here's a unique tactical real-time puzzle RPG that plays like a castle defense game. There's over 150 characters with different abilities, and they're voice acted by famous Japanese voice actors. This game combines puzzle, RPG, and strategy, and it looks like a fun game to check out. Next up we have World of Warriors, published by Mind Candy. This is a casual offline fighting game with touch controls and lots of warriors to collect. It has funny animations, an element system, characters to switch between, and tap-based skills and animations. This is a fun casual fighting game with lots of content. Next up we have Beastbusters featuring King of Fighters, published by SNK Playmore. This is an arcade zombie rail shooter where you aim your crosshair to shoot zombies, and you can't actually move around. It features King of Fighters characters, which is kinda weird. You can play as this guy and this girl, and can also unlock Kyo with real money. It looks kind of interesting and is for people that like rail shooters. Next up we have Blade Warrior, published by Endlab Soft. Here's a side-scrolling action RPG with a dark fantasy theme. The graphics and effects look pretty good, and there's tons of levels where you fight demonic monsters. It's action-oriented, and it looks like a fun game to check out.
In the name of Demacia, I will Demacia!
Next up is Dragonstorm, published by Mobrix. Here's a casual action RPG where you tap left and right to attack incoming enemies, and there's different equipment and skills to get. It's kind of simple, but it's fast-paced, and there's lots of content and levels. If you like tapping games, you may also like Tap Titans, published by GameHive Corporation. This is another casual RPG where you tap like crazy to attack monsters, and there's boss battles. It's simple, but there's tons of levels and stuff to unlock. Next up we have Scrolls, published by Mojang, the creators of Minecraft. This is a mix of tactics and card game with over 350 cards and 4 unique factions. There's a single player campaign as well as PvP. I think it only works on tablets, and it's cross-platform with PCs and Macs. If you're looking for a tactical card game, check this game out. Next up we have Eternal Fate, published by Escalation Studios. Here's a new online RPG that kind of looks like Arcane Legends. It has cartoony graphics and hack and slash combat. You can play with other people, and there's hundreds of heroes to collect and hundreds of levels. It might be worth checking out.
May you find victory in battle.
Next up we have SimCity Build It, published by Electronic Arts. Here's a 3D SimCity city building game on Android with fairly high quality graphics. You play a mayor and you can build buildings and roads and improve your city. It looks pretty interesting, although the game is freemium, so there's waiting and in-app purchases, but it still looks like one of the better city building games on Android. Next up we have Conquer Online, published by NetDragon Websoft. Here's the Android port of a very old PC MMORPG, and when I say old, I mean really old. I remember playing this a long time ago. It has an ancient China theme, quests to get, monsters to kill, and this weird jumping movement.
They see me rolling, they hating.
If you liked Conquer Online back then, you should check this game out.
Patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding.
Next, I'll show you some paid games. First up is Knights of the Old Republic, published by Aspyr. This is a high-quality Star Wars RPG that I played a long time ago. I played through this game twice back then on PC, and it has a really good story with dialogue choices and lots of content. It's a bit outdated now in terms of graphics and combat, but it's still a really good game. It costs $4.99. Next up we have Exiles, published by Crescent Moon Games. Exiles is the newest game by Crescent Moon Games, the same publisher of Ravensword. This game's like a sci-fi shooter version of Ravensword. It's semi-open world, has RPG elements, and has a story. If you liked Ravensword, you should definitely give this game a try. Next up we have Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, published by Oddworld Inhabitants. Oddworld is the Android port of an Xbox action-adventure first-person shooter that also has third-person platforming. You play a bounty hunter in a wacky fantasy world. It looks extremely high quality and has supposedly over 20 hours of gameplay. It costs $5.99. Next up we have GTA Chinatown Wars, published by Rockstar Games. Here's a top-down Grand Theft Auto game that used to be a Nintendo DS and PSP game. It has an open world, lots of action, a storyline, side missions, and minigames. It costs $2.99. Speaking of old school RPGs, Baldur's Gate 2 came out on Android, which is way more old school than Knights of the Old Republic. It's a popular old RPG with tons of hours of content. If you can still handle these graphics, Baldur's Gate 2 supposedly has a really good story and really good gameplay. Next up we have Game of Thrones, published by Telltale Games. Like their other games, this is a high quality, story-driven, point-and-click adventure game based on the Game of Thrones universe. There's a story with dialogue choices and lots of tap-and-swipe based action sequences. Each episode costs about $5.
Are they?
Yes, Your Grace.
Telltale Games also released Tales from the Borderlands, which is another story-driven point-and-click adventure game that takes place in a futuristic steampunk world. This game is full of humor, and you go on a journey to recover some stolen money. Each episode also costs around $5.
Hi. Don't shoot my face!
And last we have Shadowrun Dragonfall, Director's Cut, published by Harebrained Schemes. This is the Android port of a highly rated cyberpunk PC RPG. It's supposed to have a really good story and tactical gameplay. However, I heard it has a lot of bugs and problems right now, so if you're interested, you should wait for them to update it first. It costs $6.99. Anyway, those are the best games that came out in December 2014. Subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.
Time to Demacia!
Subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.